Hello, everybody. Nobody here yet, but hello, hello, hello. How's it going? Happy New Year Eve. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? That's what everybody's talking about, although it's not quite accurate. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3. How's it going, everybody? My name is Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am an Ascension Master, Master Healer, and Divine Guide. I am crazy as it sounds, right? The one who brought about the return of Christ. And even as crazy as that sounds, I can prove it. That's the crazy part, okay? Which is different from what other people would be able to do. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everybody's having a great day today. I need to talk about something very important, okay? Very, very, very important. Something's going on. Something's coming your way. Something you may not understand, okay? Because that's what I'm feeling is a lot of people are too distracted to see what's really going on right now. Too distracted, okay? Temptations are running rampant. It's been hitting me all day. Okay. Especially with this being New Year's, right? Everybody wants to partay. Everybody wants to do alcohol and drugs and all those kinds of things. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is not where the heart sings. So there's a distraction coming your way. Okay. And I was a partier. Trust me, I had to quit a lot of things on my journey. Because of what happened to me and my twin flame, which was, in fact, Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and Sekhmet and Horus. Okay. So I need to talk about some of those things because I've been watching this play out and it's been hitting me all day. This urge, this temptation, this anything outside of love. I've had lots of distractions coming my way. And they're actually designed that way, okay? They are absolutely designed that way. They are meant to distract you, meant to deter you, and meant to leave you astray. And I wonder why. Anybody know why that might be happening at this time? I do. So if you watch the work that I do, if you actually watch the videos that I do, I have activated pyramids, I have moved mountains, I have shifted the poles. And when I do all of these things, I specifically talk about certain locations of the earth. I talk about certain things that are coming. I do certain things, and then things actually truly play out in your reality right after I do them. It's something you might want to take note about. You might want to pay attention to because the only way to truly know what's coming, and you can go ahead and let your ego guide you all you want, or your shadow, that's what it's designed to do. It's going to lead you astray because I do hold the keys. Okay, imagine this, all right? God promised this one that was going to come about and cause all these changes and give you the path home. And then I have people like literally mocking that path. And it's real. My path, the path to righteousness that I have, will not be offered to all. It is a gift, it is a blessing because it is the path home. That is everything I've done. Now, on that path, there are certain things you have to do to rise, okay? Now, energies come in to distract you from being able to do so, and they do that intentionally, all right? How do these distractions come about? Okay, the Bible calls it El Diablo. It is the shadow. It is what I've been working for the past 4 years to undo. Now, I've had people tell me it wasn't you, it was the whole collective soul that did it. No, nobody else can bring about the return of Christ. Nobody else can move mountains and shift poles except the fallen angels that did it years ago that are now gone. Okay. And some of the work that I did, I went into the tunnels and I ripped souls out of these entities and they would fall like skin suits. And you can watch that. I upload the videos. They were recorded because Spirit told me to do that. Right. So I did. And it's amazing to see. And now you can see these things playing out in your reality. But I'm going to tell you right now is every time something like this day, right? Like everybody thinks this is a portal. I'm going to tell you, I don't think it is. Every energetic shift, though, is a chance to rise. So you can look at every day right now as a portal. That's something I want to tell you. Okay. Every day should be considered a portal, should be considered a chance to rise, should be considered because time is not on your side. Okay. I've said this time and time again. Time is not on your side right now. Okay. It's not. Um, I don't know how else to say that. This is not about fear. I had somebody coming to me recently saying, I'm not judging you. And then they were throwing judgment my way. Okay. Your shadow will try to convince you otherwise continually, continually, and continually. It's going to continue to do that. It's meant to do that, my friends. It is meant to distract you. These energies are all about distractions at this time, and that's what they're continually doing, okay? So if you wanna party, if you wanna do all that, I need you to understand something. There's a big push on me to smoke right now, because a part of what I had to do is undo all of those shadow ties, okay? And what that does is it creates dark energies to be within you and around you and to not allow you to see clearly. So, unless you are somebody who's completely in control of your mind, body, and soul, you're in your power, and those things are not something that can distract you, I would say don't do it. I would say meditate, 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 because I don't care if some people think it's a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 portal. I don't really say I see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3. I'll be a little technical. Um, every day is an energetic shift portal. And why would that be? Why would that be, my friends? Why would every day be the energetic shift portal? Because every day the energies are rising. If you truly watch the videos you find on this channel, the anointing of the blood of Christ, the return of Jesus, the undoing of the unholy grail, lighting up Mount Kilimanjaro, activating pyramids all over the globe from Indonesia, Myanmar, Machu Picchu, Budapest, Peru, I can keep going. Okay, Thailand, I have activated pyramids all over the globe. I rebuilt the crystalline grid. It's not a joke, it is biblical what I have done. Every day, the earth is already rising. And if you don't match her every day, that shadow can take hold. Okay, it's meant to be a distraction. So things are always meant to distract you from fear, which is outside of God. I don't push fear. If what I says causes you fear, it's because fear is your lens. Okay, that is what controls you. Probably part of your shadow, which you have to get rid of to ascend, right? Um, there's been a lot against me. And I think for a reason right now. I'm going to say that right now. There's been a lot coming against me. Those that rose with me aren't even able to see clearly at this time. I don't think you guys understand the brevity of what is happening at this time. And I'm not going to sugarcoat shit anymore, okay? Because everybody's like, oh, yay, everybody's ascending, the vibrations are high. And that's why they're throwing judgments my way, because I know what's coming. What I did is biblical. It is the rapture, it is the return of Christ, which is why they call it Judgment Day. Okay, so it's you reap what you sow. But what I will tell you is, as these energies rise every day, if there's any shadow inside you, it hurts you. It causes you to not be able to see clearly, because not everybody's going to stay. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Not everybody's going to stay here. Anything outside of God cannot stay. Anything that doesn't match the vibrations cannot stay, because I took us through all 13 gates, not 12. And I closed down all 12 gates of darkness. The only thing that they can do is leave. And they know this. Okay. When I undid the Holy Grail, it was a contract written in Jesus's blood. And they used the cup to gather that. They made Mary gather it in the cup. So you have to consider all the damage that's been done through humankind to the lens of God. Okay, you have to consider that. I undid the, the what you guys would call the veil. Okay, and undoing that was with Mount Shasta. So it's something to take seriously. And it's been 8 minutes into my live and nobody's here. That's not normal either. It may be a holiday, but what's important on your holiday? You know what I'm saying? It should be about union and love. Mhm. And I will tell you right now is that my DM, I had to. The first one did die. So if you think, and he really did die, the person he was is gone. Didn't go to the other side. He's gone. I got to walk in twin flame. So if you think right now this stuff is not very real and there's not an attempt to keep you away from God, you're wrong. Okay? You are very wrong. So don't put your focus on the distractions. Don't put your focus on drugs and alcohol and all of these other things. We need to focus more on love and union and rising our vibration every day, raising that vibration. Okay? Every day is a freaking portal, and you need to look at it that way, not just one day. Because the energy of the earth is already shifting. Not only did I move the poles, I added 5 more. Okay. How do you do that? You can't do that. No other person on this planet can do that. So I am unique and I'm not crazy. Okay. Psychology degree. I've had evaluations my whole life because of the work that I used to do before my awakening. So I know I'm mentally sound. However, I know this stuff is outside of our mental capacity. But if you watch the videos that I did, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Okay. You will see what I am talking about. And that's okay if nobody wants to come hang out with me in my live today. I saw somebody came on and they left. The problem is you're in judgment. You are in judgment and it's coming at me left and right now. And I'm getting used to it and it's not going to stop me. Okay. It's not going to stop me from shining my light, from raising my vibration, from protecting my twin flame. Because there's something going on with that right now, you guys. There's something trying to block the union again. It always happens whenever we get close to it. There is something that is trying to distract you from the vibrations coming in. Because here's the thing about the ascension. Each portal, or whatever you want to call it, right, that I activated, the earth will now begin to rise through. That is the shift that you guys are feeling, is you are now on the same path. It's just each one of you has a different exit point. Okay. And it all depends on where you anchor into the shadow, where you choose not to heal. The only way to become enlightened is by soul growth. The only way to make it through all the way to the earth is to completely grow in your soul and let go everything that you once were. Okay. You have to heal. I don't care who you think you are. Everybody has to heal. All right. I have people coming tell me they're healing on their own and they're just shunning. They're shunning the work that I've done. They're shunning everything. And they're shunning God. And this is what's been happening. Right. And so all these distractions are coming against me big time, tenfold, like sabotage. Right. Um, People who are supposed to be united, supposed to help protect, they're not there. All right. So I'm going to tell you right now that there's this big gaping hole in the collective soul. And I hear people constantly tell me, oh, everything's grand. I'm rising. I'm healing. Blah, 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 blah. As you go through the portals, it's going to get heavier and heavier and heavier. The earth is rising. You either have to rise with her or you will have an exit point. Okay, that's not a joke. The rapture states some will go, some will stay, and some will never know life this way, right? So it's not the end of days for everybody. But that's what people feel into, and that causes fear. And if we go into fear, we can't see clearly. Okay. If you go into like the wrath, right? The wrath. I'm angry. Oh, people are throwing anger at me. You won't be able to see clearly. Right. So you have to stay strong in who you are. What's up, Lisa? Somebody finally showed up. I'm like, all right, I can do this one alone. I'm good. 12 minutes in. Welcome. I'm kind of all over the place with this one because you guys, there's major energies coming in distracting me. There's like this huge weight on my chest, and I think it has to do with my twin flame and I can feel it. There's like temptation coming galore. And being New Year's, that's a really good one, right? Like, ooh, I want to go get a joint and I want to smoke one and I just want to drink. And that's okay. It's scheduled every Sunday at 11. No worries. I try to always be here on Sundays. But it's like this major distraction and I can't allow that to be, because if you know my journey, when I was uniting with my original twin flame, God asked me to quit everything. I used to vape, I used to smoke marijuana. I did. That's what I did. That was the only thing I ever did, right? And God literally said, will you quit for me? And if you know the story of Adam and Eve, it makes sense. And I was literally like, well, if you put it that way, of course I do, which was crazy because I didn't know what was happening to me. And then people would like channel messages for me and they're like, the angels are singing and dancing. I'm like, what does that mean? Little did I know that took us back to Adam and Eve. If you watch the anointing of the blood of Christ video, there's specific things, you guys. These videos are very, very, very detailed, okay? Because that's how God works. Everything I've done is very, very, very layered. It's not surface. It's not. It's very layered, very deep, and it takes a while to process and understand, okay? So if you listen to the anointing of the blood of Christ, God channeled a message in that one, and he specifically said that things are playing out much like they did back then. Okay. And I've been saying I'm playing out Eve. This is not the Jesus lifetime. Everybody thinks it's a return of just Jesus. My friends, that was only one of the layers. Okay. Only one of the layers was it the resurrection of Jesus and Mary Magdalene and undoing the Holy Grail. But what you guys don't realize is what happened back to Adam and Eve, and we forget about that time. Because that's what happened. It was like this major distraction, this major temptation, these major things that would come in, and it clouded my DM, and that's why he died this lifetime as well. Okay, and I gotta walk him because he still chose not to grow in his soul. That's what I'm telling you is if you're not into soul growth and understanding that you are not perfect. I don't care who you think you are. Okay. I am who I am, and I brought it about, and I had to grow. I have to heal. I have to do this every day. Okay. So I'm going to tell you right now is if you think you're exempt, you are not. If you think you don't carry the shadow, oh my God, maybe you have a bigger one than you realize. Okay. Because if you go back to Adam and Eve, what happened was those the fallen angels, okay, and they came in and they distracted. And this is what was playing out in my lifetime this time. This is why I didn't quite resonate with the Jesus aspect. I'm like, who am I? Like I kept processing that throughout my journey. And God literally said, "Is this is similar to how it played out back then, except for this time I already won." And they said that way back when I did the anointing of the blood of Christ, because I already chose love over all of that. Mm. So I don't care how weak you think you are, or how strong you think you are. Everything is designed to distract you. Okay. The attacks are getting weaker. They really, really are because we've already won and darkness is rising. It has to rise to the surface and be expelled. And that's what these energies do. Okay. Everybody's on this big 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, no, that doesn't quite compute. You guys don't realize is every day is an energetic rise. And unless you are taking the opportunities every single day, because these energies are massive, you guys, these energies are Christ light. And if you watch the path to righteousness, which most people are mocking, and that's a gift, okay? What is the path to righteousness? That is the path of everything I did that brought about the ascension, the return of Christ. And I don't want you to tell me, oh, the whole collective brought it about. No, you didn't. You didn't undo the false veil. You didn't move the poles. You didn't move things like I did. These are only things that I could do, okay? What the collective soul does is help wake people. They help raise the vibration. They heal themselves, which causes people that they relate to heal. Can they do other things like remove some darkness? Yeah, but not like I did. Okay, so there's a difference. What I'm talking about specifically is the return of Christ, and it is already played out. Okay, it's already happened. It's already done. And by the way, somebody else did this painting before I did it all. They did a reading on me, and this is what they saw. And then later I sat on Saturn. Where am I? Like sat on Saturn with Hermes and I rose Atlantis and I undid my contract there. That was the first thing I did. That one unfortunately was not recorded, but it was witnessed by this lady named Pamela. Okay. She was in this academy that I had my awakening and I went into. Except for they didn't teach me shit. Then I started clearing Mount Shasta, which is where the triangle with the eye was that I removed back to Fiji, which is the portal of the gods. Okay. And then there's this the Sphinx, right? Rising of the Sphinx being reborn. We went into the tunnels under Euphrates, and I removed the darkness there. And then in Mount Shasta, part 2 is where I burned Archangel Samael. He was under Mount Shasta. So again, people think Mount Shasta is filled with light. People think all these things, and you're wrong. Everything has been a lie. They manipulate, they cheat, they steal, and it's all about power and control. And that's what happened in Adam and Eve. Okay. Archangel Samael, who was the original fallen angel, wanted God's power. And that's what he did. He came down and caused a lot of destruction, carnage, distracted the Adam and Eve time frame, right? And this is the same thing that keeps happening to me in this lifetime. And this is what I keep telling you guys is the return of Christ is bigger than just Jesus. First of all, it's never just a masculine. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. That's what happened. They separated Adam and Eve, and then they separated Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and then they separated Sekhmet and Horus. Those are all my lifetimes. They're all the same soul. You guys don't realize that because they don't tell you that. It's a lie. They divide everything. They confuse you. It's like distract, woohoo, woohoo, holiday, holiday. Go do drugs and party and hang out and celebrate, but you're missing a big, huge chance to upgrade, to release, to heal, and to ascend. Each portal, each energy that rises almost on a daily right now, because everything I did was daily. Everything you're going to watch unfold is everything I did since 2019 when I had my own Kundalini awakening. That's what's going to unfold. And it's very detailed. It's very layered. There's so many layers. Okay. It's not as simple as just freeing Jesus' soul and undoing the unholy grail. Literally, I moved pyramids, activated pyramids, cracked the earth, grew the core, rebuilt the crystalline grid, rebuilt the whole crystalline grid underneath all the pyramids, activated them, the masculine and feminine ones, moved the poles, shifted the poles, created 5 new ones when I accidentally took us into 70. Why did I do that? Because I kept going, even though my twin flame was being totally taken over by the fallen angels again. And that's what happened. That's why he died in August a year ago. Not 2023, but 2022. August 30th, he died, and I got a walk in because he tried to literally rip my soul out at one point. I was battling that the whole entire time, and it was very, very, very painful. And all of that is biblical. What I'm going to tell you right now is I've had people coming to me going, "Oh, I'm doing it on my own, and I don't need your path. You keep your path." And what I'm going to tell you right now is there's only 2 paths. One, they were both designed by me. That's what y'all don't realize. No matter what path you are on right now is designed by me because it is the rapture. It's the return of Christ. Okay. So one is the one everybody's on. The same path, but there's different exit points for everybody because you can only go as far as your heart is pure. Period. I don't care who you think you are, unless you're not willing to grow and learn every day and release all these old patternings, continue healing deeply and understand how to do that. You have to completely redo all karma that you've created through every lifetime, not just this one. These are all the 13 in the 13 portals, right? This is Revelations 21:12. That's what I brought about as all of Revelation. That is the path the whole entire collective soul is on. Very few are going to be lucky enough to do the path to righteousness. That is what removes you from the collective soul and allows me to heal you completely and get you through every 13 gate into the new earth. Those are the only ones who get to bypass the rapture, okay, because they do the path directly anointed through God. The other one is the rapture path, which the whole entire collective is on, okay? So each day that gets higher in vibration is going to cause more pressure, more temptation, more wrath, more everything to come your way. Because if you think right now there's not something trying to stop you, you are wrong, okay? You are wrong. All right. It takes strength. It takes magnitude. It takes intense willingness and being ready to let go of all that once was. Some people may not be ready to. Some people may not want to rise all the way. So they will choose not to. And they will go as far as their heart will take them. And then that's their exit point. Those are the 2 paths, my friends. So the path to righteousness is the only one that will separate you from the rapture. Okay. Now, everybody's going around 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm like, that doesn't compute with me. This is not an energetic portal like you think it is. Okay. Every day you need to look at as an energetic portal. And you need to be doing the work. How do you do the work? You meditate. You need to meditate. You need to raise your vibration. You need to do it. You need to heal. You need to co-create. I didn't just bring about the ascension. I didn't just, oh yeah, it is, Lisa. I've had major weight on my shoulder today, major temptation coming my way, especially since it's the new year, right? It's like, oh, just go smoke one. It's okay. But no, I can hear my DM. I could feel him. I could feel the pressure. There's a lot going on. Okay. So I'm going to tell you right now, you better be very diligent. So many things are meant to be distracting. Very much so. I have so many things. And I even had a dream last night talking about the path to righteousness and how it's a joke. And it's not. There's a lot of energies that mock God because every day the earth is changing. I already changed the earth. That's what I did. Okay. Tomorrow, which nobody else can do except for God. Understand? And the fallen angel knew how. That's what he did in the beginning. Okay, they shifted the poles. They got Adam to choose a false goddess through distractions and lower vibrational pole. Okay, and that's what alcohol and drugs do. There is a distraction, and if you think they don't carry dark entities, you're wrong. They do. Okay. On my journey, I have slipped through being weak and I would smoke a little and then I would be like, oh, it was so horrible. Like all this darkness and all this energy I would have to clear out. It's not a joke. It's not just as simple as, oh, yay. You know, in the end of days, in the end of ways, these things are meant to distract. We need to grow up. We need to let it go. We need to stop judgments. You need to stop fear. Anything outside of God has to stop. And there's some people who think, oh, we just all get to rise. No, you don't. This is a rapture. Okay? I know what it is. I hold the keys. I've actually gotten to walk a few people through the gates, and even they are being distracted. So nobody's exempt. Nobody. Okay. The ones who've done my academy, because I didn't just bring about the rapture, I actually brought the new modalities, I brought the DNA activations, and I teach you how to create in the new earth. Everything I have is relevant. So I have the path to righteousness, and then I have the Alchemy Light Healers Academy. Okay, for a reason, because Spirit told me to do it. I didn't know what I was doing until it was all said and done, and I put it together, and I'm like, look at these. These are so cool. Look what I did. And all I did was follow my internal knowing. Okay. You have to meditate. You have to let go of everything that once was. And is it easy? No, it's not. It's not meant to be. This is about soul growth. It's about truth and development. And some people just won't choose to. And that's what denial represented when I did that. Okay. Is that's the end. All right. And that should be coming towards the end of 2024, 2025. Not a joke. Okay. So I have some people just thinking that I don't know what I'm talking about, and they probably didn't watch all my videos. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. It's not easy to let go. It's never, because it's a rite of passage. If it was easy and I was like, okay, we brought about the ascension, everybody gets to rise, well, nothing would change because nobody would let go of their old patterning and their old habits and their old bullshit that keeps you from love, right? It's all, we have to grow, we have to heal, we have to release. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. So the shift that you're currently feeling is actually the solidification of the rapture. Okay. There's no more time left. You are now all in the boat of the rapture. Okay. Or on the waves of the rapture, because we have shifted everything. Everything's already been shifted. The earth is done. Time has been undone. The moon, everything's been undone. The anointing of Christ came down, and they specifically talked about blessing certain things, right? But everything outside will fall. So if you think that the world is not ending as you knew it, you're wrong. That's the death. Okay. And if you're not willing to let things go, like distractions, like I need medications and I need all these things, and there's fear, and I just want to party. I don't want to do this today, and I need this, and that's your ego, it's your shadow, it's everything else. Okay. Literally, I have the path and I prove it, and people are still like, nah, psh, psh, she don't know what she's talking about. You're wrong. Okay. It's not an easy journey. It's not like something I just woke up and said, today I'm going to claim to be this. Oh no, my friends, it happened to and through me. It was my awakening. And it took me a long time to process everything through. And it was a battle for my own soul the whole way through. So I am playing out Eve. Okay. That's the lifetime that we are playing out. Why? Because everything is being taken back to the beginning of time, undone, erased, and then set free. So that's what the rapture is. None of your past lives will matter. I don't care who you think you are. You cannot just bypass this. You cannot go, well, I'll choose not to do this and just be okay. And then you pass away and expect to go where you used to go. It's a distraction that makes you think that. Okay. Everything is being undone. That's why they're calling it the Great Reset. It's the reset of time. And that's what I brought about. That's what people are not understanding. I don't care who you think you are. Everything's being erased. And if you're not willing to rise out of that and heal and let it go, and if you don't understand, I'm going to tell you right now is nobody can do it without God. That's why the Bible says, find Jesus and repent. Okay. Well, I will tell you right now, it's not just about Jesus, my friends. It's about all of God. And that is Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and Sekhmet and Horus. Jesus is not just one being. He is two, masculine and feminine, the Ankh. That is what has happened to your God. Okay. And all of you, those who go to church, those who do all of these things, guarantee you have shadow, you have karma, and it's not just this lifetime. Okay. It's not. It's not. My DM and I have had our own stuff to rise through, and so do you. Okay. Now, everything right now is meant to be a distraction. Everything, including this new year celebration time. Okay. Have you not noticed what's happening around the world? Have you not noticed? As the energies rise, the earth is going to break apart, change, and rearrange. When I opened up the God's portal, I read this scroll. Okay, you have to watch my videos to know what I'm talking about. I read this scroll and I told the gods to spread all across the earth, and they did. They went to like their specific locations, and it is their job to bring about the wrath, to move mountains, to move water, to crack, to cause tornadoes, and all of these things. These are divinely guided. Okay. So that's part of the rapture. The part of the rapture is the earth changing. She has also been reborn. That's what I did. I even proved that too. Every workshop that I did was recorded, and now I know why Spirit had me do it that way. I didn't at the time. Believe me, I didn't at the time. I thought I was just protecting my ass from people who couldn't see clearly what I was doing at the time. But no, it was to have it all documented. And then Spirit eventually was like, upload these, because I didn't upload them at first. Not when I started this channel, I did not upload those videos at first. Half the people didn't even know what I was doing unless they worked with me. Okay. So I'm going to tell you right now, it's more complex than you know. There's a lot of distractions going on right now. And if you're not willing to stand in strength and bypass those and meditate, go within, you may be in trouble. Okay. And if you think for a second you can do it on your own without God and without, no, mm-mm. There's two paths and you can't get off either one. I mean, you can. Everything's through free will. The way off of them is not staying. But there is two paths. One is the rapture, so brought about by me, and it's all the one path I created. But there's two options you have. Okay. One is with the collective soul, which is what you're in now. That is the shift you're feeling. It's done. That's what that means. There is no more like, oh wait, we have time. No, it's already here. Okay, you're already on that final path. You're already on that final timeline because the earth is shifted. It's done. Okay. The work I did is complete. Now what I do is 7D related for those that get to stay. These are brain activations, more DNA activations, more all this kinds of stuff. That's for those who get to stay. Okay. The only other option you have is a path to righteousness, which not everybody will get that option, rightfully so, because they can't bypass Judgment Day. So each portal that the earth is now rising through, because the earth is rising through these portals that I created, and everybody's on the earth, right? So you have no choice but to go through these portals, and each one is your own Judgment Day. Each one represents your own ego, shadow, karmic component, and if you can't see clearly through them, it may just get you this way. Okay? If you make it through, you call your power back, you get your DNA activations, and you move on to the next. That's how they work. And I brought all of that about. It's not a joke, and it's quite complex. Okay? So with this New Year's Eve, I'm going to tell you right now, the most important thing to do is not be distracted. Do not let anger distract you. Do not let judgment distract you. Do not let fear distract you. And do not think you have all the answers, because I guarantee you do not. Okay? It's quite complex energies. These are very, very layered energies. These are Christ energies. That's the rapture. That's the return of Christ. It's not just an ascension. That's what the ascension means, is to rise up to God. Okay? And it's been complete. We won this time. So there's no going back. There's no going back. None of your past lives matter anymore. They've all been measured. And that represents the karmic path you are all on. Now, are you watching this karma play out, you guys? So a year or two ago, I was doing missing persons because I did that before I freed Jesus' soul. And I didn't know that was coming. Spirit was like, hey, do these. And I could see what happened to people. I could see where their bodies kind of were and things, and where their soul was. And so I started doing missing persons. That was when Ganon Stout passed. And I got to walk him over the other side because he was drugged. And he didn't know he died. And that's where it started. I was like, oh my God. And I asked to see how he died, and it was so brutal I didn't want to see anymore. And I walked him over to the other side. So I just started doing missing persons. I can't do them anymore because I'm already on the other side. They don't match the vibration of the new earth. There will be no more murder and carnage and all that. And I don't want to create my reality with that. So Spirit stopped me from doing those. But I did one on Tupac. So I do have a channel, but I stopped producing on there, and some of them were on this channel too. I can show that video to you. But I did one on Tupac, and it was actually P. Diddy Combs that had him murdered. And I had said that, and he like stole a souvenir, and I talked about how dirty he was. And if you're paying attention to what's happening in the earth at all, that's been rising. How dirty and corrupt, and how he may have hired a hitman to do it. So everything I've done is playing out now in your reality, one by one by one by one. So to see people choose not to watch the pyramid activations, it's like you guys may be missing something. Even the missing persons that I did, because I kept saying my job was to clear it out of the collective soul. Everything I would remove would cause the earth to rise in vibration. We cleared Salem, we cleared Catholicism. I activated all pyramids. I took every body out of Mount Shasta. Under the Euphrates River, I did that too when I did the collective shadow removal. And I had to reach in and pull this soul out. And then when I processed Jesus's death, I actually did that again. I had to like all of a sudden I found myself traveling, so I'll do that. I'll travel outside my body. And I like had to pull the soul out of this, and I don't know who it was. I freaked out. I'm like, what did I just do? I was like, I know I'm of God. I know I'm of God. I'm not a murderer. Like literally had to process this stuff. It's freaky. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you think who I am is not real, you're wrong. Watch the videos, okay? When I post videos, let's say workshops, that's not me talking about it. That's me channeling the work and doing the work right in front of your eyes. Um, 7D was an accident because I got attacked. My DM got attacked, and I survived it. I kept choosing love, more and more love, and I just kept surviving the attack. Now that's kind of what's playing out in the collective soul. That's why I'm telling you, temptation is rampant right now. Okay, it's going to try to distract you. That's the thing it kept doing to me the entire time. Okay, and nobody's exempt from that. I don't care who you think you are. Your ego, your shadow, your karma. Your karma is what the shadow got you to do against God. So it will play out the same way. So these are difficult. Okay, these are difficult things to rise out of. Thank you, Lisa. My workshops are incredible. You have to work with me to know that what I do is very real. I do healings on people. These are not normal healings. Okay. I'm doing one on Tuesday as well on Facebook if you want to join me. But I'm going to tell you right now is as you go forward, there's going to be tenfold energies trying to distract you, trying to keep you from soul growth, trying to keep you from releasing anything outside of God. And what is God? God is love. But you think that's easy? It's not so easy to just go, well, I choose love. It's not easy. It takes strength because you're letting go of your old patterning. Okay. You have to let go of all of your old patterning, your karmic ways, because that's what I've undone from the whole entire collective soul, from the earth. Okay. And I remember when I did the anointing of Christ, I actually watched that for the first time over recently. The Spirit told me to. It was done in 22, but I forgot about it. Through everything that I did, because I got attacked by my DM and the fallen angels, and I spent a year getting physically attacked, spiritually attacked, and surviving it. And that is why I got to bring us through 7D, because I took us further than I was supposed to. Because I survived all of that. I just kept choosing love. And that's why I got a beautiful walk-in twin flame. That was painful though. That's not anything I would expect anybody to ever want to feel. To lose a twin flame is your soul. So like, oh, it was a horrible experience. It was very painful. I swelled up. Okay. And that's why I took us into 7D. Now, when I took us in, I know I'm talking about a lot of things, but there's a lot of things I did. So you'll forgive me. I try to go back and forth. When I took us into 7D, Spirit even said it was going to hurt the collective soul more because I took us farther than we were supposed to go, which means you have to heal more than you were supposed to. Okay. It truly is a rebirth. Lisa went through both my academy and my path to righteousness. It's not easy. It's not like, oh, it's just frou-frou-y and I'm making all this up. No, it's your life lessons, okay? The path to righteousness is the only way to separate yourself from the rapture, because I take you all the way through it. I heal everything you are, and I take you through all 13 gates, and then you get a heart review. And if you've cleared it all through your choices, you get your key. I purify you and walk you through, okay? Um, it is powerful. It is very intense. It's not just like, it's not a joke. It's nothing I could make up if I tried. That is all the work that I did. Outside of that, you will be judged, basically. And what the judgment, God doesn't judge. Let's get that out of our vocabulary. What it is the energies won't align. It's as simple as that. Okay. If you have shadow, if you have karma, they don't align with Christ. When I the anointing of the blood of Christ, when I brought that down, they talked about that. This is now a karmic shift. They blessed those that were able to be blessed because water will change. Some will go without water in the end of days. You will reap what you sow. Okay, that's what it's about. And Spirit would tell me that it's like some will go, some will stay, and some will never know life this way, and it will play out karmically, which is what's happening. You can see now the karmic line is shifting because the rapture is now. So no matter who you are, you're on the path of the rapture. There only is one deviation, which is the path to righteousness. Why would I say that? That my path is the only way you can bypass the rapture? Because I'm the one who brought it about, you guys. It's not a joke, okay? And I can prove it to you. Just watch my videos. Work with me. I don't know what else to say. I'm not afraid. I do things live. I don't want to know you. The first time Lisa got a healing from me, before she did any of my work, I didn't know her from Tom, Dick, or Harry. She showed up to one of my live healings, and I saw shit the doctors weren't able to fix for her. So who I am is very real. Okay, it's just for those who want to see it. Everything else is a distraction. It's meant to keep you from God. Anger, fear, temptations, and it all plays out your karmic patterned way. Okay? She's like 100% true. It all plays out your karmic patterned way from every lifetime, not just this one, because it's a reset. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. That's why the lifetime I'm playing out the most right now is Adam and Eve. Yet I cleared Jesus and Mary Magdalene and Sekhmet and Horus. That was when I went through Kilimanjaro, activated Colombia, activated a pyramid Ecuador, and then I did the Nile. And that's when they told me that that lifetime was that, and I called back that power. So this is the same thing you guys have to do. It's for you. I know it's quite complex and hard to understand. But that's why we don't think we go within. It's in your heart. Your heart knows more than anything. Your mind does not. Your mind is very limited. It's like a computer, okay? And that's where ego resides, and the shadow gets you. Because it will do that. It will take your weaknesses and exploit them tenfold, right? Oh my gosh, let me tell you. I remember when my DM and I were being attacked over a year ago now. And trust me, the darkness still tries to do it because my new DM is not quite where I'm at. He's working his way there. But it would get in your head and it would convince you your weakest links, right? Like, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you're this and you're that. And oh, just go ahead and have a beer, have this, and it won't matter. And it distracts you. It's designed to do that way. And that's the energies playing out right now. Okay. So right now, distractions and temptations and all of these things are running rampant for a reason. Because if they can get you, they win your soul at a certain level at least. Okay. So I know for a fact some will make it through certain gates. And then boom, it stops because they chose not to grow any further. Because it's not easy. You have to choose to grow as a soul. You have to choose to go within and look at what I've done, what is outside of God, and I need to choose to heal that. I need to choose to learn my lessons. I need to choose to rise to God because I need to let all that go. It's a great reset. That's why God says what I brought about is the seventh wave of creation. It's a reset of mankind. It's not a joke, you guys, and it's not about fear. God's not fear. That's why he's like, yeah, I did this, but guess what? I brought you the path. I brought you all the answers. And you'll hear light seers talking about it. There's a couple that only I recommend because I can tell they're connected. They will actually channel the work I did after I did it. I'm sure Lisa's seen that by now. People who pay attention can see that. De La Roca, you know who that is? Our Everyday Lives. He will channel the work I did afterwards. And then that Alwyn guy, after I cleared Mount Shasta, and I said the changes, the tides are going to come in through San Francisco, and people are going to scream because they didn't see it coming, and the earth is cracking because I cracked Mount Shasta all the way down the fault line when I cleared it and burned Archangel Samael in part 2. And I cracked it all the way down, and California goes like this poof, into the water, and then the water comes up like this and takes out everybody that's remaining, and they're screaming and carnage. I said that when I did that workshop, and like a week later, he channeled that, and I proved that to you guys. It's on my channel. So they're seeing the work after I did it, not at the same time and not before. It's after. That tells you who I am. I put it in the collective soul, and then people see it. That's why these truths are rising. That's why star seeds and light workers also do help. They help wake people up. But if you think that I didn't bring it about, you're not watching my videos, okay? I can guarantee you I did. And it's not, I shouldn't have to prove myself to anybody. It's designed for those who want to see it. Everybody else may not make it, and that's up to you, okay? The earth is changing, and it's not going to be comfortable for anybody. There's abundance and there's joy. It's about the golden era. It's about the new earth, which was the gates of heaven, which I opened up when I did the Nile. You can see that. And then after that, I processed the earth's death and I took her through and I opened up all of the Garden of Eden, which will spread all over the earth now, and heaven, and what's outside of that will burn. That's why they depict hell as burning, because it doesn't match the vibration. It doesn't match Christ's light. And when I undid Mount Shasta Part 2, Archangel Samael burned from the feet up because I undid what he did, and that's his wrath, okay? This kind of helps explain to you what's going on in the earth right now. And I can prove everything I say. You just have to watch what I show. Work with me, for God's sakes. I'm not normal, okay? The things that I do are not normal. I'm not afraid to do things live. I don't like to know who you are before I do a healing on you. I don't. I don't like to ask questions. If I do a Q&A, I'll do it live. Do not send me your questions before. If you book healings with me, I don't want to know who you are. Okay? That's a truth. All right? What I did to the earth. And you either choose to hear me and to rise through the keys that I continually give, because they tell you what you've got to do, or you can take the path home, which directs it. The path of righteousness is everything I did for the ascension. That's the return of Christ. It was undoing all darkness. I take all your karma out, all your shadow out. That's the only way you can bypass, because it's like, you know what? You're ready for that extreme soul growth. I'm ready to make it home. Once you get to the new earth, you have to be in your own power. You have to know how to work the energies, and then you create your reality, because you get a blank slate, because all of your past is done. That's the truth. Lisa did it all. It's not normal. It takes a while to process. It kicks you in your ass because it's growth. Okay? And other than taking my path, you're going to experience it with the rest of the collective soul. But your outcome is determined by your karmic patterning, your heart review, and what you're willing to grow out of and not. And if you can't see clearly, you might miss something. That's why these distractions are so potent, so incredibly potent. They're meant to be, okay? Distractions of, hey, just go party. Hey, just do this, when you should be meditating diligently. And I don't, it's not an easy, oh, well, I can't meditate. Trust me, I wasn't a meditator either. I was in psychology. I was doing all these other things, working in behavioral. I wasn't on a spiritual path before my own awakening. I didn't know who I was either. And I surely didn't want to show people at first, because what the hell is happening to me? So I had my own psychological review. I'm like, what is going on? And my therapist is like, no, you're normal. I'm like, okay, well, this is not normal. She's like, no, but you're okay. I'm like, I don't feel okay. So I just kept going. And in the end, I realized what I did. Okay? And I almost died doing it. It's not a joke. And my twin flame did die, and I didn't even know I was a twin flame. Try that one. Try eating that apple. Oh, Adam and Eve claim I didn't even intend. To learn your twin flame, I didn't even believe in twin flames. I thought it was a bunch of bullshit. I did. I just thought it was like, oh, those are just weird people who want love, right? I did. And then during my awakening, it turns out I was a twin flame, and our souls all of a sudden went like this whoosh, when I met him. And the love, the shit that was happening was crazy, and I didn't understand it. And then God called him forward through my videos, which I didn't even realize he was watching, because he was my neighbor. God moved me next to him. My whole world shifted. Ended up living next to him. And then he took off with what they call the fallen angel. There was 3 of them. And they spent a whole year trying to get me to stop the ascension, and attacked him and attacked me. And I kept going. I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going, and I never stopped. I kept choosing love. I wouldn't let any darkness take over. I wouldn't let any distractions stop me. Anything that would come outside of love, I would stop it. I would just meditate. I would ignore it, and I would raise my vibration. And it's not easy. I make it sound like it was easy. It was not. It was one of the hardest things that I could do. and Spirit called me mahogany. I remember at one point God was like, we didn't think you'd make it. They actually planned for it to end. But I kept going, and that's when I took us into 7D. That's why I got to take us into 7D. And when I did that, they said it was going to hurt the collective soul even more because you have to heal more. Okay. I took out all of the shadow. There is no darkness can remain. That is why the new earth is all about abundance and love and joy and freedom like you've never known before. It's the seventh wave of creation. And only those who choose to rise to God, choose to rise to love, and let everything outside of that go, no matter how hard it may be, are the only ones who get to stay pure of heart. And that's what the Egyptians would depict on the thing where they would measure your heart. Right? That's what that was. Okay. So, welcome to the time of Adam and Eve, not Jesus. Although we did free Jesus's soul, I set it free, and my DM did take on that lifetime recently. And you can see that also. When I first processed his death, my DM was not healed enough to take that on. And at that time, I didn't know who I was or anything. I didn't know what was happening through me. And his soul went into the Garden of Eden, into a flower. It was so beautiful, too. It was like this big, beautiful white flower. And I processed his death, which was painful as hell. It was poisoned, it burned from the inside, and then bled out of every orifice. And then later on, I found out that they got Mary Magdalene to gather his blood in the cup. Now, they call it the Last Supper because they gave him bread and wine poison. And then he died slowly for a good 20 or 30 minutes. And they got her to take that out. Now, recently, my DM started rising, my new one, right alongside of me, and he got to take that on. So Jesus' soul no longer is in that flower in the Garden of Eden. It's actually walking around on this earth. But that's not the main thing. And I kept saying that. I don't resonate with that lifetime this time. And I kept questioning that. I'm like, what is happening? Who am I? It doesn't make sense. And I would question that. I would ask everybody, like, what is happening? Nobody got it. And eventually God showed me why. And it was in the anointing of the blood of Christ. That one, he reminded me of that. God was like, remember this? And I was like, oh, yeah, that is so weird to bring down the blood of Christ. It freaked me out at first. So I forgot all about it. And then I watched it recently. And in that, they said it was playing out just like it did back then. It's like this big war, right? And you'll hear people talk about the spiritual war that's going on. And that is what the attacks were on me and my twin flame and trying to stop the ascension and all of you. It's a battle for your souls. That's what it is, okay? And that's when it fully clicked. I'm like, oh, Adam and Eve. I knew I resonate more with that lifetime this time. Why? Because that's the beginning of time. That's what started all of it. And that's where I undid it from. And I went through every lifetime after that. So it started with Adam and Eve, raising Atlantis, and undoing that contract. I sat on the rings of Saturn in meditation. I saw Hermes, and he gave me his golden belt. And then I lassoed Atlantis and I rose it out of the water, which is, I died at Lake Titicaca. Okay, they showed me that when I did 7D. I have 2 workshops where I brought through 7D, and you can watch it in that. That's when they stopped me. They gave me my key and they showed me I died there. I drowned. That was at Lake Titicaca. It spreads all the way to Machu Picchu and all of that area was a hub of Atlantis. And then it went from there, which would have been Adam and Eve, okay. Then it went from there to clearing Mount Shasta, still kind of a part of Adam and Eve. And then after that, I started activating pyramids, which is when I started waking up my twin flame. And then eventually we united our souls and then came live on Christmas Day, the resurrection of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Okay? So it all happened in consecutive pieces that I did not see coming. If you actually watch my videos, you'll see that. At first, I'm like, why are we going to Fiji? Somebody asked me, why are we going to Fiji? I'm like, I don't know. Let's see what happens. And we went to Fiji, and I activated a pyramid underwater there. And then I had to return the root chakra back to Fiji. So that's what happened. Mount Shasta was never filled with light at all. It's filled with darkness. And I still know people who go there to spiritually retreat, and they don't realize how anchored into a shadow they are. Okay? That is also where I burned Artificial Sam part two. And when I did Fiji's part two, which is not on the channel, it's only in the Path to Righteousness one, um, that was when I said we only have 2 years left. That's when they showed me that we're in the final timeline. Now, somebody told me the 29th was a big shift. People are reading today as the portal. So I'm telling you, today is not a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's actually 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3. I don't know what people are talking about. Um, the shift is real. Energy is rising every day. Okay, so don't look at just these. It's every day you need to be meditating. Every day you need to be healing. Every day you need to grow and learn more and release what doesn't belong. Okay, because you are now on that final timeline. So taking it back too. I don't know if Lisa knows this. If you watch, I have an Ascension playlist, but every video on this channel is the Ascension playing out right in front of your eyes. This is what's happening to me. And if you watch it, when I was getting attacked and my DM was getting attacked, I would create new timelines that didn't exist. And I would go into the center of all existence. I would say that. I'm literally starting in I would stand in the ethereal to where everything didn't exist and existed all at the same time. And I could see everything. It was weird, weird, weird. And we would develop these new timelines that didn't exist because I was being attacked. It was trying to stop it, and I kept bypassing it. I kept choosing love, no matter how. I don't know if you understand what it means to go against your twin flame. That's like almost an impossibility because it's your soul and there's a connection. A true twin soul is the replication of your soul, just with a masculine or feminine aspect, okay? So it's my soul, and then there's somebody else in there that's the masculine. Does that make sense? And so when he was choosing to not lie, I was choosing to go against that. And I stood strong, and I didn't hurt, you guys. They attacked my arm. This bone came out split in two. Like, it was the worst attack you could imagine. He tried to rip my soul out and put it in the fallen angel. It was so painful. I was like screaming in the middle of the night and didn't know what was happening to me. And each time that would happen, we would develop a new timeline. And then De La Roca would channel it like a day later. Oh, we're on a new timeline. I don't know where we are right now. And I was like, oh my God, this is so surreal. It was so crazy. And I'll say that on this channel. And I would be like, oh my God, look, he channeled what I just did. Oh my, it was so crazy. It was so cool to see. So the timeline's different. But right now, the timeline that we're all on is the same one. It's just everybody has a different exit point and a different experience coming forward. And it depends on where your heart measurement was and if you're willing to grow as a soul. That's your free will, okay? So let's say you've murdered somebody or you've stolen or you've done things that cause pain. Does that mean that you are completely exempt from making it through? No, not necessarily. Because it's not like, oh, I can't be bad. I can't break the rules. I actually had a past life where I murdered somebody. And I had to process that through the work that I did. Just because I didn't wake up and he murdered me, he beat me up and killed my baby. And I saw myself stab him. But I healed it. I chose differently. So that's what you have to do. Your karma will play out, and you just have to choose differently than you did the first time. And you may not know what the hell's happening because it wasn't always this lifetime. Okay, that's the complex part of the ascension. That is why there's two paths. One is the rapture, which everybody is now currently on, and you cannot get off. The only way to get off is to not choose to continue forward. The other one is the path to righteousness, which is the path God brought about. That is all the work that I did, and it separates you from the judgment of the collective soul. Does that make sense? Why does it do that? Lisa, do you have a reason, a good answer for why it separates you? Is it because you purchased my program and now you're my best friend? No, no, that's ego. Nope. Since you've done the past, you have a good reasoning why it separates you from the collective soul. You've done those workshops. You've seen it now. You've heard me say it several times in there. It would come through what was happening and why you were separated from the collective soul. You have a good explanation you want to give as somebody who actually did it? Oh, you guys, there's a major push right now. And me, but I can feel it all in my throat right now. Sorry. I'm gonna give her a minute to type that out. Hopefully you guys can see the comments. But I can tell you right now why it separates you. Simple answer is because I heal you. You go through with the one who brought it about. It puts you above ahead of everybody else, I should say, but I also heal it all. And it's your job though to still what? Choose right. You still have to choose love. Just because you go through that path, let's say you're in that path and something comes up and you still choose your karmic patterning, that's a lesson that will repeat and repeat until you can't repeat anymore. And that's really the short answer of it. It's good to hear somebody's experience that actually went through it. She says, because we are getting upgrades and healing and the intensity is so strong, we help the earth as well. Um, yes and no. Yes and no. And it is complex and it's kind of hard to understand. But if you really pay attention when you're doing it, it's because I heal you. And yes, you're helping the earth, but what I'm actually doing is putting you with the earth. Okay. So let's say each portal is a level. It's a level of healing. It's a level of understanding. And as you did those with me or in the past, I put you at that level. I make sure you're healed at that level. I bring your karmic and your shadow outside of you. So it's outside so you can see clearly. That's the key right there because if you notice, you're like, I can see it. I can see the car. I can see this lesson playing out. I just have to know what to choose. And then I tell you to choose left. That's your choice. So does that make sense now? So that's why, okay? And that's literally what the earth is about to go through. Everybody already is. It's just if you can't see clearly, you may not make the right choices. Okay? So what I do is I draw everything out to the surface. And you did help the earth too because I had to we would bring Christ light down the individuals and down into the earth as well. But more of it is because I align you with the earth, right? Everybody will get DNA activations as long as they are allowing the energies to rise and releasing their karmic patterning. Eventually, they will get them if they know how to meditate, to draw in light, and all those kinds of things. So the way it works is you go through the portal, you have a karmic lesson play out. Revelation 21:12 talks about that, right? The seven what do they call that? Like the raptures, like you have all these lessons you have to do and choices you have to make. And that depends on your karmic patterning. Once you choose right, you undo your karmic tie that you created. You have to do it in the opposite in which you created. Call your power back, then you get your upgrades, and then you move on to the next. The problem is people think they can do it without God. They think they allow their ego, their shadow, all of these things to get in the way. That's what the energy right now is doing. It is distracting you. It is trying to distract you. These holidays, Christmas, the money was a great distraction. This was the first time I wasn't able to like really just spoil my kids because it's not meant to be that way. It's truly about love. It's truly about uniting in love, doing what's most important, understanding that it was Christ's Mass. We were supposed to be celebrating the return of Christ. And instead, I got a lot of backlash coming my way from a lot of people on this channel, on my other page, people I knew from my past, just throwing all this negativity my way. And I'm like, ooh, this is not supposed to be playing out this way at all. But the DM is not here protecting us. He's in his own lessons right now, and he hasn't quite made it through to the new earth, and I have. So there's a lot of negativity going on. There's a lot of distractions going on. They are tenfold, and they're trying to keep you from your soul growth because it breaks you down. That's what it does so well. That's what the shadow does. That's what ego does. It causes you to see something that's not. It's like this false veil. No, the veil, right? We can't see God. You know what the veil was? Little lesson here. Does anybody know what the veil was? The veil was Archangel Samael was like, I want God's power, right? And he actually got John the Apostle to murder Jesus because John was worshiping the angels, not God. And Jesus warned him, don't do that. And I saw this play out in my lifetime as I was clearing it. I don't read the Bible. I knew it was always false. There's big chunks of it that are false. There's little truths. So the veil happened when Adam and Eve time started that, right? It was this distractions came down. They separated Adam and Eve, and they actually got Adam to choose a false goddess, and I died. I watched myself die. That was when I rose Atlantis, and I had to I actually wrote a contract that said it would never rise again because I was angry. I was so angry and devastated. I tried to save my kids and they died and I drowned and my flame went out. I'm the white flame, so my heart, I saw the flame go out. Okay. Then little pieces started to occur after that. And at Mount Shasta came next. And that is where I burned Archangel Samael. Okay, because so the reason why all these souls, I removed all these souls that were trapped there. He took the earth root chakra, which was at Fiji, which was the God's portal. He shut down the God's portal. He put all the power at Mount Shasta, and he got some divine masculine and feminine at that time. I can't still tell. It was unclear if it was my lifetime because my DM didn't help me do it. It was very painful. Mount Shasta part two. I cried. The whole time it was painful because I wasn't supposed to do it by myself. But he got the masculine to cut the head off of the feminine, and they filled Mount Shasta with blood. Okay, and then all the power from the God's portal, which is the all-seeing eye, was put over Mount Shasta, and then no longer anybody could see God clearly. And that's when the karmic pathway started. And when I did the anointing of Christ, that's what God was showing me. It's like this played out very similar this time to what it did that time, but this time I already won. By that time, by the time I anointed the blood of Christ, when I was bringing down Jesus' blood, I had already won. And I didn't even know. I didn't even know because I chose love. God asked me, would you quit smoking pot? And I was like, at first I was being stubborn. And I'm like, why? Everybody else does. Why do I have to? Why do I have to be so different? And then he showed me something about like the love of my kids. Like I would do it for my kids in a heartbeat. He's like, well, would you do it for me? And I thought I was tripping. I was like, yeah, of course. If you put it that way, of course. And I did. And from there is when I actually started doing all this work. So it really does actually make sense. And it goes back to the beginning of time, which is Adam and Eve, not just Jesus and Emmanuel. Okay? Everybody's hyper focused on a man, just a man. And it's like you don't even realize what happened. I had to spend a year fighting for my demon soul. And as I was doing that, I wish Amy would come to the words. She hasn't been. She witnessed this part of it. God kept telling me that I was battling the deep. And if you look that up, that talks about El Diablo and going against love. And I just kept choosing love. I just kept choosing love, no matter how difficult, no matter how much negativity came my way, no matter how much the energy tried to get me to judge anything. I would stand strong as all could be, dig my feet into that earth even more and meditate, raise my vibration, and choose love. I would literally say out loud, I choose love. That's why I won. And that's what brought it about. And we changed the blueprint of the earth. The earth has already been reborn. And as we rise, what doesn't match the light that we are coming into will burn, you guys. That's why the earth will shift. That's why they depict it as burning. That's why these earthquakes are happening. If you watch what I did, I expanded the core. I replaced the crystal of darkness to light, and I did the Nile. And I rebuilt the whole crystalline grid and filled it with Christ's light, and masculine and feminine light. And the core will expand to like 4 to 6 times the size it once was. And then when I combined the sun and everything with 7D, the whole thing is going to expand. So Earth is not flat nor round, it's both. And because think of it like a gyrosphere, right? We all have to be on some kind of flat land. That's why some people think it's flat. They're right. And then there's a round sphere, which is kind of the energy bubble we're in. They're right too. It's both. It's like a gyrosphere. You can stand straight and the earth rotates and you stay still. You know what I mean? That's Earth. She is expanding. She will continue to grow and expand, and we have to expand with her. So Lisa, if you remember some of the workshops I did, I actually cause our bones to change. Our bones, our intestines, everything is going to evolve going forward. And that's why the truth, we were bigger. Okay, that's why they call them some giants and things. Yep. It's an evolution. We are evolving too. Yep. Size. We will grow bigger. We will be bigger. Our intestines will change. I'm hoping we don't have to go potty. I don't know about you. The rest is disgusting. I don't know. I don't know. I think that would be cool if we got to eliminate that, but that would be really weird too. Like, what would we do? I don't know. It makes no sense. All I know is we are all evolving and expanding. and nothing as you know it. None of your past lives will exist anymore. It is literally the seventh wave of creation. And that's what it is. And that's what I brought about, my friend. Okay? So even though this is a holiday, I want you to have fun. I have a little glass of bubbly wine I'm going to have with my son tonight. He's 21. My other kids are younger. We're going to play some games. We're going to have some fun. I will not go and smoke anything, even though the distraction is there. Be very careful with your distractions right now. Be very careful because they are working tenfold. It will be an illusion. It's an illusionary energy. It's going to make you think something that's not real. They use money to do it. They use fear. They use temptations of all kinds, food, substances. This is how the shadow works. Okay, it uses your temptations, your karmic patterning, and that's why it's really hard to choose otherwise. That is why only the strong will survive. Only those that make it through that rite of passage will survive because the shift is already done. It's not like, oh, I choose you and I choose you and you're my best friend. So that's ego. Okay. You don't have to believe me. I already proved it all. Right? 12:22, right when I said that. Okay? You guys, there's this big pressure right now of temptation. It's big, it's massive. Every time we rise, it's going to be a wave of that. Because it's a battle for your soul. That's what it's been the whole time. Fallen angels, wanting God's power, convincing humankind to do things against God, continually getting in your head. That's why Spirit says go in your heart. It's all there. Okay? So Happy New Year. Be ready for the rapture. 2024 is just rising further through that. And as we rise more in that, more line will fall in layers. Okay? And the karmic shift is already here. If you're not paying attention to that, I don't know what else to tell you. Some that have been in the shadows are starting to rise up, while others who've been in false power are starting to fall. Even the Facebook guy, what the hell's his name? I forget it because he's totally not human. He's artificial. You can see it in his face. Even like he's not right. Mark Zuckerberg. He's building all these underground tunnels and this like bunker. Hello, can people not see this? But they won't get to escape. I said that already too. You cannot escape your karma. So I don't know, their bunkers will implode, they will do something. There's many things they did in the workshops that they did. Started fires, blew them up, they will collapse, sinkholes, lightning, tornadoes, it's all designed to do the same thing. And the gods are strategically placed all over the earth to bring us to. Not the angels. No, no. Angels are beautiful beings, they are great creatures, but it is God. It is God we should be thinking about, it is God we should be working through and choosing to go towards. Okay? The angels help. They are not the power. That's what happened with John the Apostle, and that's why he killed Jesus. And Jesus warned him, the only one you should ever worship is God. And God says, love, heart, He's within your heart. So if you're outside yourself, if you're not truly healed enough to be pure love, you'll make it. So much love, everybody. Happy New Year. I'll see you later. Have a good one.